Well, welcome to another lore video, and we've now got all we're going to get until after Christmas, and they've left it as neat as possible, and even done a last minute bug fix. The problem with transferring items between your ship, your carrier, and your bartender on your carrier has had a fix, and FDev are asking for feedback if it still isn't working for you. The link is below in the video description below, so you can add your input to the issue if you're still having it. It's fixed for me, but yeah, if you're having problems, the link to the issue tracker is below. The last Titan went down, and we spent the last 24 hours rescuing pods for Operation Thunderstruck, and they're still receiving pods if you have them, including any that you find from now on in any Titan debris. I've linked to Lady Lucida from Operation Thunderstruck in the video description below, so if you're collecting biopods from Titan debris, let her know, and she can add them to the total recovered, which is now just over 450,000. Outstanding job. Once again, the Python Mark II proved itself to be an excellent Titan bomber. The cutter excelled as a pod recovery ship, and to witness the final explosion, I quickly put together a Cobra Mark V because, well, why not? As you'd expect from a Cobra, the Mark V is very fast and agile. It works well as a smuggler for small amounts of cargo or passengers if you put a low emissions power plant in it. With an armoured power plant and a decent shield and weapons, it could be quite tanky as a combat ship. Agility and speed are not too different from the Cobra Mark III, but the better power distributor and super fast SCO are really nice additions. It's a great little ship, it's fun to fly, and it perfectly commemorates Elite Dangerous's 10th birthday. When Casio exploded, the sounds it made were different to the other Titans. Where their explosions were what Commander Exorcist called mechanical, just fire and explosions, Casio added what he called an organic component with whispering and chittering sounds, and possibly even something that might have been a bit of Morse code in there. What was it? A last shout of defiance? Thargoid for I'll be back? A message to other Thargoids? Something else? These sounds are being analysed, they're being run through spectrum analysers and the usual stuff, but so far there's nothing conclusive, and what it might mean is anybody's guess, but it's a possible indication that this isn't over, which we can add to the list of possible indications that this isn't over, along with all the hanging story threads that could be picked up again any time. The double-engineered SCO drives that were given away as rewards for the community goal in Sol have also been made available to unlock through the Human Technology Broker. You will need components, including a Titan drive component to unlock one, and you can get those in any of the debris left by any of the Titans. Caustic sinks and corrosive-resistant cargo racks can be easily bought and fitted now, and it's also worth taking an abrasion blaster in case you find more stuff to salvage and they neither use for unlocks or sell for cash. Otherwise, everything seems quiet now with no immediate dangers around. Marco Quent, the engineer, is back in Sirius now that Sirius has recovered. The ports in Sol are under repair, so presumably when fully restored the engineer Briss Decker will be back there as well. Ida have been doing some restoration work, but as usual the commodities required often include ones that are either hard to source or which you only get from missions or mining or from people who've already stockpiled them, so they're being selective about restoring Sol, which will of course happen automatically without them speeding it up, but like rescues for us, that's their roleplay, and Sol is likely to be restored much faster thanks to their efforts. And so if you want to help Ida, especially with those harder to get commodities, a link to their Discord is below. From Thursday morning, the debris of Casio was instantly accessible. No waiting for a week to go in, and by then it had no extra sounds, just the same sound as all the other Titan debris. At the debris of Casio, there's already a listening post with a memorial to the Second Thargoid War on it. The message from FDev is that the destruction of Casio has ended the Second Thargoid War. FDev have released this article in Galnet and a video online which is all very gung-ho and jingoistic about mankind defeating a mighty foe and looking to expand, and clearly this is all leading up to the next big thing, which is going to be colonization. As to what that sound is that's being emitted by all the Titan debris, just about every content provider has mentioned it, so let's take a look. This is the spectrographic analysis of the sound made by each Titan's debris field. FDev have hidden pictures inside sounds before, so a spectrographic analysis of any new sound is usually done by Canon or someone else or both. Interpretations go across the board. The whole Thargoid controlled human thing again, and if you've been following me you'll know why I think that's unlikely. It's also being seen as a way to communicate, perhaps with us, but not necessarily. You'd think they might be a bit more direct if they wanted to communicate with us directly, considering that, well, they now have a good idea of how to do it, rather than just broadcasting a signal and hoping that we would pick it up and translate it. Especially when a translation itself is so open to interpretation, but yeah, it could have been a general message for anyone who wants to read it, including us. We don't know. But amongst the interpretations, it's been seen as an expression of the desire to make peace. We don't want to kill you, we just want to understand you. It's even been seen as a response to the picture that's on Voyager, showing a man and a woman and other stuff, like their version of that, indicating that they understand at least part of it. Or it could be none of those things and just simply a recording of their own discoveries, showing that they found out we have two main genders and how we reproduce, and whatever else they discovered from the abductees held in the Titans. Like an internal lab report that we just happen to be able to intercept and decode. For the moment at least, the message is that the war is over, and for now there's no sign of hostilities resuming. But those of us who've been fighting it, or doing any of the support activities, feel wary about saying, hey, we've won, relax and celebrate. And Commander Grimscrub from AXI put it the best way I can think of to describe why we all feel uneasy about this so-called victory. We've beaten 8 Titans, and that's no mean feat. It's been tough, it's been a hell of a challenge, and we're not taking anything away from the achievement that is. Anyone who's participated at any level, from analysing the war machine to doing the activities, has done a fantastic job. The problem is, we can believe that this will discourage the Thargoids from coming at us in force like that again. And we can speculate that they might think twice before doing it again. But we don't know that. So it feels difficult to really celebrate and feel like we've done anything except defeat a very powerful force. Because, as Grim puts it, we haven't demonstrably done anything to stop it happening again next week. Which not only leaves us feeling uncertain about the future, but equally uncertain about what we should be celebrating. Meanwhile, we have a Christmas event, delivering presents to kids in the bubble on behalf of Sandra's workshop, as we did before 2 years ago. But this time the kids have all been displaced by the war, and we have to find out where they are now. Medium or small ships are needed for this, and some of the distances are quite long, so a ship with SCO is favourite. Remember, you can buy the Python Mark II and the T8 in-game now for credits, if you don't want to splash out arcs on a Mandalay or Cobra Mark V. Alright, well this is your first hint that, an SCO drive is going to be very useful. Frost Dock, where you have to go, is 32,000 light seconds, so an SCO drive will definitely make your life easier here. And if you've not done one of these before, it's fairly straightforward. You go and pick up the unique presents from this dock here, Frost Dock, which is, they're like rare goods. And then nearby is a beacon that you scan to get the letters from the children. So when you get there, there's Frost Dock itself, where you pick up the packages. There's also Sandra's Postbox. Well, we know we need 6, so let's dock. Looks like a few power play ships around here, and if you are a power player, you could bring some recon limpets with you and hack the holograms here for merits. Bag a few merit points for yourself while you're doing this.
Incoming message.
And when you land, you get a message from Sandra. Thank you for visiting Frost Dock. It's such a busy time of year and we're in need of your help. Outside this station is a beacon containing letters from children all across the bubble. I'm eager to ensure we deliver gifts to as many as we can, but our usual delivery team is helping transport refugees from the awful Thargoid war. So, yeah, favour for a favour then, eh? If they're helping us with evacuations, as a rescue squad we can help them with a few deliveries. So you go to the commodity market. When it opens up, and when it decides to let me scroll. There you are, there's your festive gifts. Alright, we're going to be delivering 6 of them. We'll take 10 anyway, in case we make a mistake. They magically sort themselves out. Okay, so now we'll go to the beacon, the postbox, which is 9.79 kilometers outside the station. So just blast over there. And all you have to do is target it. You don't have to use your data link scanner or anything like that. There you go. And there are your 6 messages in your inbox. The post box is like every other listening post we've ever seen, so there you go. If you've done any of these breadcrumb trails before, you'll recognise their standard looking listening post in space. Alright then, so letter number 1. From Camiloons, age 9. Dear Mrs. Sandra, I would like a telescope to look out of my window with. My goldfish Sunshine has gone missing, and Mummy says it's swimming in the New Turkey Ocean and is very happy. But my friend Tommy says that isn't true, and my goldfish has gone down the toilet. I can't find Sunshine in my toilet, so I need a telescope to look at New Turkey. It has to be a very good telescope because oceans are very big. Thank you. Losing a pet. Never understand the pain till it happens. Alright then, so this is a fairly straightforward one, but it might seem a little bit confusing at first, because if you go to the galaxy map and you type in New Turkey, you'll see 2 references. They actually both go to the same place. LHS 1387. It's a couple of jumps, so let's get over there. And there we are. When we get to the system, there is a station called Angel's Sunshine, the name of his fish. Okay, so you go to the commodities market and you just sell one of them. That's it. And it automatically knows and sorts out the right one for you. And when you do that, you get the message. Festive delivery complete. Many thanks. And your rewards are the Type 9 Snowfall cracker delivery and the festive firework launcher, the red one. Letter number 2 is from Mia Guilford, age 7. Hello Sandra, please can you send me a joke book to give to Daddy? Whenever I say the name of our home, he says, but where is High City? And laughs, even though it is not funny. Some new jokes will make Daddy cool again. We live in an Acellus station, which I learned at school today. Hope this helps. Alright, so we're looking for an Acellus station, and this is about dad jokes. Yeah, so if her dad is saying, where's High City then? And laughing a lot, and he's the only one who thinks it's funny, then by the logic of dad jokes, that means they must live somewhere called Low City. And there we are. There's 2 of them. 3 of them, in fact. And if we go to the first one, I don't have a system map for it. And sure enough, in HR 1980, there is indeed a low city, and it is indeed an Acela station. And again, when we sell one, yeah, there's a message: delivery complete, many thanks, and the Snowfall cracker livery for the Krait Phantom, and the yellow festive firework launcher, and their modified flat cannons which do very little damage but just fire coloured ammunition. Gift 3 is for Li Huan, age 10. Hi Sandra, if it isn't too much trouble, I would like a singing lesson program for our VR suite. My favourite icecaster has started hosting a Capella music events on Sundays, and I'd love to be able to sing well enough to join in. Fun fact about my address: did you know there are 9 planets named Gold? I live in orbit around one of them. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. That doesn't exactly narrow it down, does it? So let's have a look. If we go into the galaxy map and type Gold, what do we get? We get quite a lot. But if we look down here, there is a system called Capella, and he was talking about a cappella music. And when you get to Capella and look at the names of the planets that the stations are orbiting, there it is, Gold, and the one orbiting Gold, Darkesport. 10,000 light seconds, so a little boost of SCO won't hurt here. Coming into land, stranger it seems to do that, both with the Mandalay and the Cobra actually. It starts off by kind of landing on its wingtip and then slowly orients itself until it's laying flat. Strange way to park, but, well, docking computers will docking computer. And with the third delivery complete, you get the Snowfall cracker for the Diamondback Explorer. And the third of the coloured flak launchers, the festive firework launchers, the green one. Letter 4 from George Lewis, age 9, says, I would like you to tell me if I can have a starport for my present. Most starports have 2-word names, but whenever I ask Mum why our starport has a 1-word name, she says it's because I'm Sam's son. I don't know what this means, as I don't know Sam. I only know Mum and Dad. Maybe I own the starport if they named it 1 word because of me, but Mum won't tell me because she won't be able to tell me when to go to bed or brush my teeth or anything if I do. Please let me know, and happy holidays. Alright, well, Sam's son as 1 word is of course Samson. There's a system called Samson, but we're looking for a station called Samson. So this one, in the system of Munfayl, I actually got a system map for it. Cool. Can check that straight away then. Yeah, there you go. Samson. So they're not their usual decrypt, @bash, Caesar ciphers. Not this time. Of course, last year we were delivering presents from the nutty professor, an inventor who I still think is one of the unsung geniuses of the galaxy. I'm sorry, but yeah, a rocket pack blowing coloured bubbles is just such an awesome idea. I don't know why everybody doesn't have one. And with the 4th one delivered, you get the Snowfall cracker for the Anaconda and a festive gifts ornament. Right, I've just checked, it's a pink and yellow Christmas present. So on to letter 5. From Lee Johnston, age 9. Dear Sandra, I really like the song that our ship plays when we're landing. I asked my brother what it was, and he told me it was called the Blue Danube. And our nearby planet was named after the person who made it. I guess he was very famous because the Blue Danube is very old. Please send me an orchestra so I can make music like Blue Danube. Thank you. Okay, well, Johann Strauss wrote the Blue Danube, so we're looking for somewhere called Strauss. System called Strauss, and we've got Strauss Reward and Strauss Rock. But Strauss itself, Fomalhaut, seems like the most likely spot, 66 light years away. And actually, Strauss isn't a planet, it's a moon. Now, although it is Darkesport that orbits Strauss, it's not the right place. So it's a little bit of a cheat, this one, you could say. But to get the actual name of the port, you look at the kid's name, Lee Johnson. It's actually Fort Lee that we want, even though that doesn't orbit the moon, Strauss. So, yeah, very easy to just go, and this is the one that if you're going to get it wrong, you're probably going to get it wrong.
Incoming message.
And here's where you're going to get the message. And you get the festive jumper, the green one. Aha! And I've also got 20 million credits. I haven't even delivered the last one yet. But yeah, cool. A New Year reward, another 20 million credits. Okay, let's look at the last message. From Winnie Clark, age 7. Hello Sandra, today in school we learned about a person from very long ago that our starport is named after. He had very long ears and was very logical, I think that means smart, and he could make people go to sleep by touching them. Apparently people liked him so much that hundreds of years later we still know his name. I think he must have been a very good person if that is true. Please send me the blue outfit he wore so my teacher will think I am logical as well. Thank you, Sandra. Well, okay. I would say who doesn't know Spock, but you know, that might be an obscure clue for some people. It's possible. Anyway, we're looking for the one and only Leonard Nimoy. And there is only one station called Leonard Nimoy in Elite. And there you have it. That's your Christmas for this year. Christmas event for this year. If you've done these before, you'll have some of these items already, but you may not have the paint jobs. You've probably now got the set. Red, blue, yellow and green. And that's your Christmas for this year. I wasn't sure if they were actually going to do one with the war ending and all the stuff they were already giving away. But for anyone who's been in the war and then done the Christmas stuff, they've been given a lot of free stuff for Christmas. And lots of new things to play with, like the SCO drives going into the new year. What does the future hold for us with the Titans defeated? As a rescue squad with no evacuations to do right now, we're at a bit of a loose end, but we've been here before. Our squad was founded towards the end of the first wave of attacks that started in December 3303 and ended in August 3305. We began a few months before that phase ended, and after that there was nothing for 5.5 months. Then we had a brief return of the Thargoids in January 3306, and then in real life COVID hit, and FDev had to manage working from home, getting the bug fixes done that the players had demanded, and still get fleet carriers out, so any story that may have become in January got cut short. And the next attacks weren't till September, and they weren't Thargoids, but the NMLA attacking the Empire stations. And then in the 2 years that followed, attacks were on and off until the culmination of that part of the story, the Azimuth saga, with Salvation using the Proteus wave. So for those of us who've been around for a while, we've had times when there was nothing to do before. The newer people are obviously going to feel it more, but it's something you get used to as the equivalent of an emergency service. When people need you, they really need you, and when they don't, it's best just to get on with something you enjoy and be ready to mobilise when the next emergency comes along. We might get a break for a while, or it might not be too long before something new happens. The Thargoids might just take their new knowledge of us and go. Or they may use their newfound knowledge to make more surgical strikes and surprise attacks. They've made a big thing out of them learning more about us now, and that seems like too big a story beat to leave hanging for long. Perhaps we'll see the other Thargoids in the Pleiades and Witchhead and Coalsack and California regions defending their barnacle sites more ruthlessly and intelligently, or the currently dormant Spire sites might reactivate. It's all out there as a big unknown even after everything we've done. This part of the article that I mentioned earlier is of potential interest. If there are refugees who don't want to go home and want a new home, then transporting them is something we could do. Again, like the video, it feels like a lead in to the new colonisation feature. But if they did make community goals, for example, to transport people to new homes, or good regular missions for them, that's something that would be within our remit to do. Helping with the rehabilitation process fits our roleplay, so maybe more will be made of this, with opportunities for work there, we'll have to see. I'll be doing one more video in this series, probably between Christmas and New Year if I can, because it seems that the Aftermath chapter of the ongoing story of Elite is done, and it will be after I've collected some thoughts from players who are heavily involved in defeating the Titans, what we liked, what we didn't, some of the ideas people have going forwards. But for now, it seems reasonable to assume we'll get a break from the Thargoids for at least a little while. Whether or not you celebrate anything this time of year, or whether you just enjoy having some time off, have fun, explore the possibilities of power play if that interests you, grab one of the new SCO drives and go exploring, or whatever else you feel like doing, catch up on any outstanding engineering you've been meaning to do, or whatever features of the game you've been putting off looking into. Now's the time to relax and do your own thing before we either get Thargoid trouble again, the various powers go to war, or the gold rush begins to colonise worlds of our own. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.